Hi again. So today I thought I would talk a bit about the reason why HSCT is worth all that money. What do I expect from HSCT? How it's supposed to work for me and my MS symptoms, and what is basically the reality after having the treatment, and what kind of results I am expecting from the whole treatment. First, it was probably 2014. I was, of course, since I was diagnosed with MS, I started immediately to seek for a cure because, of course, no neurologist acknowledges that there is a cure for MS. And then I went straight away online to search for alternative treatments and therapies for MS, and I came across with this stem cell treatment. Started reading more and more about stem cells, and something just didn't add up about that stem cell treatment, because they were telling that there are these private clinics that are injecting stem cells, and they're just basically not drawn from blood, and the stem cell mechanism didn't just sound very convincing to me. And luckily, just a few weeks after starting the research for my own research online, it was probably 2014 June. In June, I found luckily this a Facebook page about HSCT for autoimmune disorders, and most of all for MS. And that was a true savior for me, because I gained so much reliable information on that page, and that group was so full of great people who were just spreading the word about HSCT and sharing their own experience, especially. And was it in Moscow, was it in Chicago, was it in Ottawa, was it in Singapore, was it in India or in South Africa? They all were so helpful in trying to get people educated about this effective treatment, basically the most effective treatment for MS. And ever since, I tried to pursue getting for myself the treatment, but unfortunately my first attempt in Florence, Italy was a huge disaster, and that's why, unfortunately, I was given the chance to have treatment in Moscow. These stand for disease modifying drugs, but they won't stop the disease progression. They might lessen the relapses, the frequency of relapsing, or they just might give you a short-term cure, or not even a cure, modification and lessening the symptoms of your MS. But in the long run, only a treatment like HSCT is effective and is worth trying, because in the long run, HSCT has the ability to stop relapses and stop overall progression, since just stopping the relapses won't mean that there would not be any neurodegeneration or overall disease progression, because MS progresses in half of the forms progresses without relapses. It just has a steady progression, which is like a very slow death. And HSCT has another asset compared to conventional DMDs, which is that HSCT is done, most of the cases get only one time HSCT. You pay once, you get it once, you have done it once, and that's the end of the story. In the best case scenario, you won't need any DMD in the future. So basically, you have managed to keep your MS in line just with the help of the HSCT, whereas the DMDs are something that you will be needing for basically almost for the rest of your life, since you need them continuously, and they cost money for the society. They might cost you money, a lot of money. So if you compare the expenses that HSCT and DMDs will produce, there is a huge difference. You pay once a big money, or you pay several relatively big sums for the rest of the days. And there's another aspect, which are the unpleasant side effects that most drugs have. Of course, HSCT has a fatality rate. Of course, it's relatively small, but there is a risk. But the benefits are great, so it's worth taking the risk. And DMDs, instead, they have a lot of side effects, and the drug I'm currently on, the therapy called alemtuzumab, it has even a 30% risk of developing a secondary autoimmune disorder later in life. Some people who belong to that unfortunate group can develop it during the first year after the first infusion of Lemtrada, or the third, or the second, even the 7th year of Lemtrada, or even later on. So, and if you think of the benefits of such a DMD, it just doesn't make sense to me. So why wouldn't you want to take a more effective drug and just deal with the risks and some of the side effects, and then be sure that you have done everything you can to make sure that MS can be tolerated and can be stopped, basically, to its tracks. So I don't see any reason for not taking chance with HSCT. Go with the most effective treatment as long as you can, because MS won't be halted on its own with no DMD, because we are waiting for the real cure. And while you're waiting, just go do the best you can to make sure that you won't keep losing more than you already have lost. So basically, HSCT is the only viable option at this point. I would probably expect from HSCT to at least stop the disease progression, meaning that I wouldn't be having any new relapses, basically new symptoms that would last over 48 hours and would develop into chronic ones. And in addition, I would very much like that the whole disease progression would stop, would be halted, so that no further neurodegeneration would happen. And what would be very, very much a blessing, that I would have probably a reversal of my old symptoms, such as the weakness in my hands and my arms, because as you see now, I've cut my hair, just not because I want to look different or because I just like short hairstyles or anything. I cut my hair because I mentally want to prepare myself for HSCT, because the next step after some months, I will shave my whole head, so no hair left, because I will lose my hair in Russia anyway. And the second reason is that basically, or the first most important reason why I cut my hair now, is because I just simply cannot treat my hair anymore. I cannot brush my hair anymore. My hands get way too tired, and it's just too exhausting for me right now. And I would be so happy if I could be able to have long hair after HSCT and be able to take care of it myself. I would be so grateful. But that is a plus. I have to remember that is a plus. What I realistically would expect that at least I wouldn't get worse. That is what I really want. And in best case scenario, my EDSS score, my disability status score would drop from the current 2 I'm right now, would drop down to 1. So basically I had very little disability after the HSC. That would be so good. I would be so grateful, and that is my aim and my target. But let's be real, expectations don't always meet the reality, the real expectations. Now I'm talking how great would be to have this and this, but let's face it, there is this reality, this harsh reality. HSCT is a hard treatment, so intoxication of your body cells, and it will naturally lead, because I will be in the hospital for a month, and physically I won't be that active. I won't be able to do much and not go out, so there will be muscle wasting and general weakness after the treatment, and I'll have to regain all that strength just slowly during the recovery phase. And I could also experience some worsening of my old symptoms, such as my hands, which I don't want, but it's something that might happen because of the immune system will be rebooted and will start to grow back on its own. So that might happen too, but I'm prepared for that, and that is a small price to pay if I really get the full effect of HSCT as a result of that. And of course the recovery time will be several months, as I told in the previous videos. It will be a long battle. It will be just like a roller coaster, and reversal of symptoms would be a great plus, but not many people have that, just the lucky ones. And you should be prepared that if you do get the signs that HSC has worked, it might come early on, it might come later on, or it might come very late. So no one can tell how an individual will react. But basically HSCT is the most effective MS treatment and treatment for numerous other autoimmune disorders. So basically that is something I really need to do, because I don't want to get worse. This life-threatening disease I have, it's scaring them. That's why I'm going to Russia, and I really need your help, guys, to support me during this trip, because it's very, very tough financially, mentally, and physically. It's very stressing treatment, but it is something I really need to go through if I want to be here for my family, my friends, for my husband, for my cat, and for myself most of all. And that's why I really want to go through this, and this is something I wake up in the morning. HSCT is the first thing I think of during the day, and the last thing I think when I go to bed. And that's why I would be very happy if I could be able to spend at least one day in the future that I wouldn't be thinking of this horrible disease and the things I have to do in order to I want to thank you once again for watching this video. If you got something out of it, if you have any questions, just comment in the comment section, or if you like to donate to my fundraising page, here's the link. And